Former WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley makes a stunning return last night on Monday Night Raw, chasing off Liv Morgan as well as confronting Dirty Dominic Mysterio. CM Punk goes face-to-face with Seth Rollins after Punk inadvertently cost Rollins the World Heavyweight Championship this past weekend at Money in the Bank. We got more from the Wyatt Six during Monday's episode of Raw, as well as a Bo Dallas appearance backstage in Adam Pearce's office. Jordynne Grace confirms her contract with TNA Wrestling is set to expire in January of next year. Damon Kemp confirms he's no longer under contract to WWE after the company decided not to renew his contract. A new faction has seemingly debuted on Raw. Tyler Bate is confirmed to be out of action with an injury, and Chelsea Green receives praise after her performance at Money in the Bank. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about the return of Rhea Ripley to WWE television. The former Women's World Champion is back on Monday Night Raw. Former Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley returned to Raw on Monday following Dominic Mysterio and champion Liv Morgan's mixed tag team victory over the LWO's Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega. Ripley had been out of action due to an injury at the hands of Morgan, who was forced to vacate her championship. Prior to Ripley's departure, Morgan declared her revenge tour. And after she won the championship from Becky Lynch at Crown Jewel, she set her sights on Ripley's boyfriend, Dominic. Earlier on in the evening, the Judgment Day's Damian Priest was seen backstage taking a phone call and asked whoever was on the line, presumably Ripley, where they were, foreshadowing her return to TV. Dominic was initially reluctant to team with Morgan, who once again got him into a compromising position or several compromising positions throughout the show, but they managed to pick up the win after Morgan threw a chair in the ring to distract the referee and helped Dominic knock Rey from the top rope, allowing Dominic to hit a frog splash and get the pin, his first victory over his father. Dominic impulsively hugged Morgan in the ring before pushing the women's champion away, but Morgan jumped into his arms, knocking them both down with Dominic on top. At long last, Dominic seemed about to give in to Morgan's seduction efforts, which was when Ripley's music hit, causing both Dominic and Morgan to go wide-eyed with terror. Ripley stormed down the ramp while Morgan scurried off into the crowd, leaving Dominic in the ring to face Mammy. The USA Network feed cut off before the segment could be resolved, but footage from when after the cameras went dark showed Ripley speaking angrily to Dominic before storming right back out of the ring and up the ramp, while a hapless Dominic attempts to follow her and explain himself. Interestingly, a video posted to WWE's social media afterwards shows Morgan watching the confrontation from behind the curtain before turning away with a smile on her face. So what do you make of Ripley's return, and what do you make of the ongoing storyline between Dominic, Morgan, and now the former Women's World Champion? Now, CM Punk, he opened Raw last night and went face-to-face with a former rival. Fresh off his latest screw job at the expense of Drew McIntyre, CM Punk kicked things off on Raw, addressing the Ottawa crowd and promising that McIntyre hasn't seen anything yet. Unfortunately for Punk, the Scottish Warrior wasn't the only one affected by his actions at Money in the Bank, and Seth freaking Rollins interrupted him to make sure that Punk knew just what that would mean moving forward. Rollins recited the warning he sent Punk's way soon after his return to the company, not to stick his nose in his business, and asked why he had to go and do just that, with the loss, as per the stipulations of the match, costing Rollins any further World Heavyweight Championship opportunities so long as Damian Priest remains champion. Citing being blinded by rage of late, Punk explained that wasn't his intent to mess things up for Rollins as well, and actually apologized for the act before nearly a complete about-face, saying, quote, "But since it's you, I can't actually be that sorry." Just as Punk told McIntyre long ago that so long there was air in his lungs, he'd do anything he could to keep the championship out of reach, Rollins made Punk a similar promise to end the segment. Quote, "I promise you this," he said, "when you are cleared, you will not even be able to say the name Drew McIntyre before I snap your arm and put you back on the shelf." He then reminded Punk that actions have consequences, dropped the mic, and walked away. So what are your thoughts on the renewing of the rivalry between Seth Rollins and CM Punk? Where do you think this one is going? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Now, Bo Dallas and the Wyatt Six. The Wyatt Six continue to terrorize Chad Gable, complete with a third VHS tape delivery to the commentary table from Nikki Cross/Abby the Witch after Bo Dallas revealed why the stable was going after the Alpha Academy leader in a video segment with his Uncle Howdy alter ego last week on Raw. Last week, Dallas called Gable a false prophet who was belittling his family for his own gain. This week, the stable's frontman took things a step further, appearing on Raw for the first time without his Uncle Howdy mask since 2019 in a backstage segment. As Gable was fighting fellow Money in the Bank ladder match contender Jey Uso following in the first match of the night, some of the lights in the arena went out while Gable had Uso in an ankle lock. Thanks to the distraction, Uso hit a spear and got the victory, then yeeted to the crowd and ran back up the ramp in the dark. All the lights in the arena then went out, the jarring piano tune signaling the arrival of the Wyatt Six began, and smoke filled the ring with Gable still in it. Cross/Abby then rose from underneath the ring once again, and Gable followed Uso up the ramp in complete darkness, while the apparition once again put the box on the commentary desk to be played later on in the show. When Michael Cole threw to the video from the commentary desk later on in the broadcast, Dallas delivered a monologue to the camera about his new family. He said that he took in those that no one wanted, the discarded and forgotten. He said he gave them a purpose. Quote, "They are so happy you remembered them," Dallas said, as the video cut from the Firefly Funhouse characters to those who portray them behind the masks. Huskus the Pig was officially revealed to be the former Joe Gacy, Mercy the Buzzard Dexter Loomis, Rambling Rabbit Eric Rowan, and Abby the Witch Nikki Cross. Quote, "For grief is the price we pay for love," Dallas can be heard saying as the video cut between the characters. "So now we must set the captives free, so they need no master." The video of Dallas then kept cutting to show him as Uncle Howdy as he delivered the line, "Do you think we are sick?" And the overmodulated voice of Howdy from the tapes of weeks prior responded, "Yes, I do." "Then sick is what we'll be," Dallas said. After the video, the broadcast cut to Gable backstage with Raw General Manager Adam Pearce. Gable lamented to Pearce that he was being targeted by the Wyatt Six, to which Pearce responded, "If they're coming after you, did you stop and think why that might be?" Gable said he would deal with the Wyatt Six himself. Pearce turned to walk into his office, where he found Dallas waiting for him. The last thing viewers saw was Pearce walking into his office and shutting the door. Now, some big details on TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordynne Grace's contract with the company. Jordynne Grace's TNA deal reportedly is up in January, but it wasn't always. Fightful Select noted on a recent Backstage Report podcast that Jordynne Grace's contract with TNA was up, quote, "much sooner than expected," end quote. Grace confirmed on Gigantic Pop this week that her contract is actually up in January. Grace re-signed with TNA for 2 years in the summer of 2023, with her deal set to expire in the summer of 2025. However, Fightful have been told at some point her contract was amended and changed to expire in January of 2025 instead. WWE sources immediately told Fightful that she's expected to get interest from them upon her contract expiring and that she'd made a good impression thus far. Now, speaking of contracts in WWE, Damon Kemp is no longer under contract with the organization. Damon Kemp, aka Bobby Stevenson, announced that he was no longer with WWE after 4 years with the company. The brother of the recently released Gable Stevenson, Bobby, had made a much better impression on officials, coaches, and fans of WWE. Kemp has performed on NXT, Level Up, 205 Live, and WWE Main Event. Now, Fightful Select have been told that this wasn't part of a round of cuts, and instead, Kemp was told that his WWE contract would not be renewed. This has been more of the norm in recent months for the company. Now, the 25-year-old Kemp wrestled his most recent match on NXT on June 25, losing to Tavion Heights. He made his debut in late 2021. Now, a new faction seemingly sprouted on Monday Night Raw. Following a wild 6-woman tag team match against the team of Lyra Valkyria, Kaden Carter, and Katana Chance on Raw, Damage Control didn't even have a moment to celebrate its victory before being assaulted by a freshly united trio in Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Sonya Deville. After several backstage interactions in recent weeks between the new trio, Baszler and Stark seemingly made the alliance with Deville official and set their sights on Damage Control, which, as a faction, has frequently laid claim to running the WWE Women's Division. Kicking things off with a feud against Damage Control would make plenty of sense for the new faction, with extensive history between all parties involved. Baszler has extensive history with all current members, including the injured Asuka. Stark and Sky were NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, and Deville, alongside Mandy Rhodes, feuded with Sane and Asuka for a time as well. But according to this newly formed trio, last night's actions go way beyond targeting just damage control. Quote, "We just sent a message to the entire locker room about who actually runs this division," Baszler said in a backstage segment directly afterwards, while Stark referenced getting screwed twice, one at Clash at the Castle and once at Money in the Bank, by people who can't even lace our boots. Putting a stamp on things, Deville said she's only been trying to help Baszler and Stark reach their full potential and be the killers that they were meant to be, before firing a final warning shot to the entire women's division, saying, quote, "We're here," she said, "and there's not a damn thing anybody can do about it." Now, Tyler Bate seemingly is suffering with an injury. Monday night, Pete Dunne competed on Raw for the first time since May, but unusually, Dunne was seen in singles action against Bronson Reed rather than tagging with his new Catch Republic partner Tyler Bate. Fans learned the reason for this, as Dunne was making his way to the ring. According to commentary, Bate is out of action for an undetermined amount of time due to an injury suffered last week on NXT during a new Catch Republic match with Hank Waller and Tank Ledger. Looking back over Tuesday's show, Bate appears to have been injured towards the end of the match, possibly on the final move. After hitting a move off the top rope and pinning Ledger, Bate could be seen holding his left arm close to his body. Following the match, he seemed to be surprised how his arm felt and started flexing his fingers. And when the referee went to raise his hand, Dunne pushed the ref away. As of this recording, there are no details about the specific nature of the injury or how long Bate could be out, though it could be telling that Dunne appeared to begin a program with former Brawling Brutes teammate Sheamus following his match with Reed. And finally, Chelsea Green was a standout performer at the Money in the Bank PLE, and she received praise backstage because of it. According to Fightful Select, while Chelsea Green didn't win the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, her death-defying performance won the admiration of WWE management. Officials were reportedly thrilled with Green's promotion of the event in the weeks leading up to the Toronto pay-per-view. Not only was Green in Toronto to do midweek events, but she also promoted the event heavily on social media, which did not go unnoticed by higher-ups. Fightful makes it clear that several sources reached out to praise Green. In the match itself, Green took a very scary fall from the ladder in the ring through tables at ringside, and management was said to be very happy with how safely she performed the stunt, as well as her seemingly nonchalant response to being asked to take the risky fall in the first place. This is not the first time that Green has gone above and beyond, as her previous Women's Tag Team Championship partner Piper Niven recently gave Green credit for bringing the former Doudrop out of her shell, both on screen and backstage, during their partnership, which came together hastily following an injury to Sonya Deville. The Women's Money in the Bank ladder match was ultimately won by the former NXT Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton, who currently has 365 days to cash in her Women's World Title opportunity. But there you go, guys. This latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.